All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I'm Rich Walsh. If you need a roof, make sure you call Ireland Contracting. They're the best in the business. That's why they're #1 in Pittsburgh. 1-800-NEW-ROOF is their number. They not only do roofing, they do siding, they do gutters, they do windows, they do anything you need inside or outside of your house. Call them. 1-800-NEW-ROOF, Ireland Contracting. Give us a call right now on the Borders and Borders hotline, 412-575-2600 is the number. We're talking buckos. What would you have done this free agency? Because it probably would have been a lot more than what the Pirates have done right now. They signed Lonnie Chisenhall. That was probably their biggest free agent signing.
That was their only free agent
I guess you can count Gung. Can you count
Not a free
Gung?
agent signing. No, that's their own guy.
Laus. I don't know. But Chisenhall, Gonzalez doesn't count, does he?
Was Laus?
Gonzalez counts?
Wasn't Gonzalez a trade?
Gonzalez might have been a trade.
How about Laus? What was Laus?
Trade.
Was he a trade or?
I don't know. I know they've spent $4 million in free agency.
Yes.
And I get confused on who. Laus and Chisenhall were their only two free agents. So Gonzalez must have been a trade. But you know, the one thing I want to talk about too, get into is before we get into more Bucko talk, is Antonio Brown. So he was in Turks and Caicos. If you follow his Twitter or wherever, Instagram, he was in Turks and Caicos for a couple weeks. Now he's in Atlanta, and he has a white mustache or a blonde mustache.
What is the point of that? What is the deal?
And he ran into, I guess he was at an EA Sports event tonight, and the USA Today reporter started about by saying he looked fly. And then she went into talking about James Harrison and Jerry Rice, where he's going to play next. And he just said he wants to win, and he doesn't matter where he plays. He just wants to win.
Yeah.
But
well, it doesn't matter where he plays, but he's under contract to the Steelers.
Yeah.
So this guy. I mean,
what I'm getting to now, Harrison said he doesn't think the two can make up, the two sides. And I think he would know because that's one of his consultants, him, right. Chad Ochocinco, and
think about that.
Terrell Owens.
Those are the three people you go to for Terrell Owens, Chad Ochocinco, and James Harrison. Those are the three guys you go for advice. Look, this has to end. It's a debacle. This guy, to me, now he's just acting bizarre. So bizarre, just so that the Steelers have to get rid of him. I think he's making sure. I think he's making sure they have to get rid of him.
I think he's trying to force their hand, and I've been saying this. It seems that way. I mean, the fact that you would put on. I mean, would you ever even think about putting on your social media you in a different shirt with another employer? I mean, I just don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand where his mind is right now. I don't understand
anything the guy does. I don't think he understands half the stuff he does. But again, a lot of it probably is just calculated. He wants to act like he's acting bizarre and acting out so that they have to move on him.
But I don't think the Steelers would just get rid of him to get rid of him. They're not going to trade him for anything less than a first rounder, I think. I know you agree. You think that, but I don't think they should.
They should.
Let's go out to Bob in Beachview. What's up, Bob?
Yeah, fellas, you common sense guys. Paul, you said that AB you thought was just, egotistical or something like that. Something came up in the news today, but I want to make a comment about the Steelers before I ask you the question. When they played New Orleans. At the end of the game, Drew Brees made the comment that he thought that the game was the toughest game that they'd played all year. That's like coming from an apostle when I hear something like that. The guy on the field knows what's going on, and that was the top guy on the other side. And today, the other story is AB, which you just ranted about, and I thought that as nice as Rooney's have been with San Antonio Brown, and not long though, but Martavis Bryant and Le'Veon Bell, I thought they couldn't put up with AB. But today Ed Boucher interviewed Bill Cowher, and Bill Cowher's of the opinion, and it's just a frustration, and AB's not dealing with it well, and he thinks it can be settled.
What do you think? Do you think it can be settled? I personally don't.
Anything can be settled, but how do you trust them?
Well,
I don't care if you sit in a room with Art Rooney and Drew, what's his name, Drew Rosenhaus, and Mike Tomlin and Kevin Colbert and Art Rooney and Antonio Brown and you know they pass around a peace pipe and come out with the walking out and all in harmony and everything else. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. You cannot predict what's going to happen. The first time Ben Roethlisberger throws the ball to Juju Smith-Schuster 3 times in a row, and now you got Antonio Brown back doing the same thing he's doing.
Yeah, it happened at the beginning of this year. It's, what, 3 straight years now where he has done something. You have the infamous Facebook posts, his tantrums, and then the stuff this year.
How do you trust him? That's the issue. It's not. I mean, they can, like I said, they can all sit in a room and, you know, sing Kumbaya and high-five each other and come walking out as if, you know, that doesn't mean a thing. What matters is what happens when they play, and when they play, what's going to happen when Ben Roethlisberger throws the ball to Juju 3 times in a row instead of Antonio Brown? What's going to happen if a team takes Antonio Brown away and he's got 2 targets in a game or 3 targets in a game? What's going to happen? You can't trust this guy to do the right thing, and frankly, I don't think you can trust Mike Tomlin to be the guy to enforce anything because, you know, he's been his chief enabler. So, to me, you can't get rid of Mike Tomlin. You're not going to get rid of Mike Tomlin. You got to get rid of AB, and you got to make sure that anybody else understands what he got away with will never happen again.
A lot of stories coming out this week in Atlanta for the Super Bowl. You have Heinz Ward saying he's blaming Tomlin. Harrison is obviously not a big fan of Tomlin. Then you have Bill Cowher saying what he said to Ed Bouchette in that interview. You know, talking about that they have to be more of a team, and you got to be, you know, those kind of things. And you know, if you piece all this stuff together, you try to figure out, is it Mike Tomlin's fault? Did he really help Antonio, allow Antonio to be this kind of person?
Yes, he's enabled.
And I'm starting to think that.
And you know what? Art Rooney has a part of it too, because Mike Tomlin has a boss. So, you know, yeah, Mike Tomlin enabled him. You know what? So did Kevin Colbert. So did Art Rooney. They all did. Has authority over there, enabled this guy acting the way that he's acted, you know, for the last 8-9 years.
I do believe in preferential treatment, but you can't take advantage of it.
I'm sorry. The guy has his own Airbnb or whatever to stay in during training camp while everyone else is in the dorms. Give me a break.
Also, real quick before we go to break, did you hear Terrell Pryor is telling people up and down Radio Row that he wants to come and be a Steeler? So he's a free agent. Could he help this team?
You know what I always say to that? I want to date Holly Berry, but she don't want to date me. So what's the big deal? Who cares what you want?
All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to go to the phone line as soon as we come back. Back in a couple of minutes.